What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Wednesday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. The hot run continued last night. We swept the board with FanDuel in tournaments. The GPP did really well. Hybrid and Cash also got in on tournaments. Cash games were a little weird last night. I hit some of them. I missed some of them. But we did hit in GPP contests, which is just, great, obviously. We're keeping a great run going. We have 9 games on tonight's slate. Doing this video in the early afternoon, as I usually do. Things could always change. We have some questionable guys on the injury report today. I do expect to have a bit different of a look coming to lock later on this evening. Going to give you guys 5 plays that I like using FanDuel salaries, 1 for each position. Give this video a like, subscribe, and put my alerts on so you don't miss, any future videos. So looking at the lineups last night, the GPP was on the left. I didn't go off of Jalen Brunson or Beverly at point guard. Those were the easy value plays. DiVincenzo was on every lineup I had. Reeves was on every lineup I had. LeBron was, Hart, and Hayes. Like I described in yesterday's video, the Lakers and Knicks were just the best value teams on the slate, and it really wasn't even close. I was a bit late to post on my website because I was waiting for that Lakers starting lineup. It was crucial, needed to see that Jackson Hayes was starting. Played a decent amount of minutes, ran into a ton of defensive stats, 4 steals and a block for 27.7 fantasy. He was a smash at only 3,600. And then on the right here was the cash lineup. I had Buddy Hield. The only difference between the cash and hybrid last night was Buddy Hield and Gary Trent Jr., who also played really well for the Raptors. So all in all, a good night. It was really just D'Angelo Russell who fucked the hybrid and cash lineups. 15 fantasy, shot very poorly. Nothing you can do there. He was always going to be a good play. He has been playing really, really well for the Lakers, and there was no Anthony Davis last night. I do not regret the pick at all. Just sometimes guys don't show out. That's all right. We still cashed in. Let's have another good night tonight. Again, 9 games on this slate. We got some value. We'll dive right into things here at point guard. James Harden against the Wizards. Just an unbelievable matchup. His price dropped to 8,400. Needs 42 fantasy points to hit value. He's been cooking on the Clippers, playing a lot of minutes. His ceiling is, 50 to 60 as we saw 3 games ago. Averaging almost 40. He's been averaging more on the Clippers than he did on the Sixers. And the big news here is Paul George is questionable. Now, he's had a minutes restriction over the last few games. He has not seen 30 minutes, so he's clearly not 100%. Over the last 4 games, 29, 28, 22, 27 minutes. And now he's questionable with that groin. So things are clearly bothering him there. I could see them sitting Paul George in this matchup against the Wizards. They're already like 10-point favorites. They don't really need him. James Harden and Kawhi could easily get the job done. The Wizards are one of the worst teams in the league. If Paul George plays, I still like James Harden because George is probably going to be a little bit limited. If Paul George is out, we're going to want to get to a lot of this Clippers team, and our first priority would be James Harden at 8,400. But regardless, James Harden looks good. He can play point guard and shooting guard on FanDuel. For shooting guard, we're going to go over to Dallas. Now, we're going to have to get over to the chalky Dallas team tonight. We have no Luka Doncic, which is unfortunate because this game would have been great if Luka played. But he's out, Kyrie's out, so now we got to get to guys like Jaden Hardy, who's going to be most likely starting. Another huge thing here is Dante Exum is doubtful too. Derek Lively is out. So the Mavs are very banged up. We got to get to this value. Jaden Hardy at 5,100 will be in all my lineups tonight. He's going to most likely start now. The big downside here is that they are like 11-point underdogs in Minnesota tonight. This game could get ugly very quick. But Jaden Hardy is one of the guys that I don't think he gets affected by blowouts. I think he's going to play his 30 minutes one way or the other, even if they're down a bunch. Hopefully, this game can stay remotely close. I actually thought the spread was going to be more. The fact that it's only, I think, let me double check, but last time I checked, I think it was 11. It's 12.5. Okay, it has gone up a little bit since earlier this morning, but 12.5, we could still stay in this game. I am worried about the blowout, though, but we got to get to this value with no Luka, no Kyrie, no Dante Exum, no Derek Lively. They're without a bunch of their usual starters, so Hardy looks good, and then we're going to get over to Tim Hardaway. Now, if it is a blowout, Hardaway will not play during a blowout, but it should stay somewhat close. I'm assuming like 12.5 point spread. I know that's high, but for the game to get so out of hand for these guys not to play in the fourth quarter, it's got to be like a 25-point game in the fourth quarter. So you can be worried about a blowout, but no matter what, unless it's like a 20-point spread, it's always more likely to be somewhat of a game in the fourth quarter than not. Hardaway at 6,400 looks really good. He projects out for well over 30 fantasy points with no Luka and Kyrie tonight. He's coming off an unbelievable game with Luka against the Magic last game, 36-8 for 49 fantasy. At this price, we need him for 32 fantasy. He will be the number one scorer on the Mavs tonight with Luka and Kyrie off the court. Power forward, I like a spend up as Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, this could change later on today, but he does look good, especially if you're picking Mavericks. You want to root for this game to stay somewhat close, and if it does, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I don't know how this game stays close, because we have Grant Williams and Maxi Kleber covering Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. I just can't even picture it in my head. But 12.5 from Vegas tells me that, we somehow, my brain, I can't picture this game staying close, but if it does, I like Karl-Anthony Towns a ton. The matchup is unbelievable. The Mavericks defense, especially down low, has been bad all year long. He's projected for 42 fantasy points. That's what he needs to hit value, and he has the guy just scored 62 points 5 games ago, so he's got a 60-point ceiling on any given night. Good cash game play because he's going to get you over 35 no matter what. He's not going to blow up your lineup with a dud. He looks good. Again, things could always change. We do have injury guys, a lot of stuff. I haven't even touched upon that, but a lot of stuff in OKC. We got Shai Gilgeous questionable. We have Chet questionable. We have Jalen Williams out. So we could see some value in OKC, unfortunately. LaMelo Ball for the Hornets is questionable tonight. Miles Bridges is probable. And then there was one other thing I want to talk about. Jared Allen and Darius Garland are questionable for the Cavs. So we do have some things. Hopefully we'll get some news before lock later today. And then for center, I do like Nikola Vucevic. Again, the Bulls are without Zach LaVine, so we see the primary usages going to Vucevic, DeRozan, Kobe White. 7,900 looks good. He's projected out for 41 fantasy. He only needs 39 to hit value. We know how bad the Hornets are just in general on defense, but especially bad down low. Vucevic could have a huge game. He's been playing big minutes, 36, 39, 33, 36 minutes in the last 4 games. Now, they are on a back-to-back, but Vucevic isn't some old hag. He is getting older, but he's not like an old hag who can't play on a back-to-back full minutes. I think he's going to be fine tonight. Him and DeRozan are going to look good from this Bulls team. And him like Karl-Anthony Towns, a good cash game play. High ceiling, high floor. He's going to get you 35-plus fantasy points usually with that 60-point ceiling. So I like Vucevic right now as well. Again, things can always change throughout the slate depending on what injury news comes out. But this is what I got for today as of right now. Let's have another huge night, guys, and continue to roll. We have the Pebble Beach Pro-Am starting tomorrow. I will most likely put golf content on my site later today. Excited for that. Huge field since it's a signature event now. So we'll look forward to that as well and continue to run on NBA. Give this video a like, subscribe. Until next time, guys, peace.